Okay, now it says we're live. And there's 6 people here. Okay. Sorry, people. Having a technical difficulty. Just give us a second. Are we in the shot? Yeah. Except you can't see the table.
Well, I can see the table.
But you got, oh, you can see it okay there?
Yeah, what you see on the screen there is not necessarily what you're getting.
Okay. Second here, get mine set. Second here, get mine set. Second here, get mine set. Okay. I guess we're set up now. So who's here? Andy's here. And Laura's here. And Mel. And Chris. And Jetty. And Virginia. And Cindy. Hi, everybody. Had a little problem getting things set up here. Because, of course, you know that we're not in our usual location. Obviously, we're in my craft room. And so I hope everybody can hear us and see us okay. For some reason, YouTube was not cooperating with me a few minutes ago. But anyways, so what are we drinking? What are we drinking?
We're drinking frozen fruit with little peach snaps.
Oh, is this the mango peach strawberry?
I didn't separate them out. It's mango peach strawberry, whatever came out of the bag.
Oh, okay. So it's a conglomerate frozy. Oh, brain freeze on that one. So we'll just wait for a few more people to join us. Laura says, yes, can see and hear you fine. Ooh, I'm having a brain freeze. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Slurpy brain freeze. Oh. Ooh, that hurt. Okay. All right, so just before we get in with the art attack today and what we're doing, oh, I'm still having the brain freeze.
Oh, you shouldn't drink it so fast.
Oh, talk. Oh, this is killing me. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Ow. Ow, ow. You're trying to poison me.
Probably.
Oh, that hurt. Okay. Oh, I think I'm back. So, what's been happening? My mother fell out of her chair. Yeah, that was fun this week. Got a phone call on, I can't remember what day it was. Was it Friday? Thursday? Something like this. I guess I got her a new pair of slippers. Well, I guess one fell off and she decided it would be a good idea to bend over and pick it up out of the chair. Yeah, and she ended up doing a face plant. Apparently she hit her head, and although she didn't hurt herself, they checked her all over and everything. Although they thought that maybe she made a bit of a grimace when when they touched around her hips, but they checked her out and she was fine. So I called her later in the day and I said, so I heard you fell. Well, yes. And I said, what were you trying to do? Heard you lost a slipper. Well, yeah, but it was only just 2 inches away from me. I said, Mom, it was maybe 2 inches away from the wheels on your wheelchair, but not with you. I said, what have I told you before about reaching for things when you're in your chair? You can't do it. You know, I never had children, but now I've got one. I've got a 90-year-old or a 79-year-old going on 5. She doesn't do anything you tell her to do, and what I'm afraid of is she's going to end up in the hospital, and that's not good. You know, if she breaks a hip, she has osteoporosis. So, anyways, that was excitement this week. She's okay, Chris. She'll probably be bruised, because my mother bruises if you just look at her. But anyways, it could have been a lot worse. Mom needs a grabber stick. Yes,
yeah,
she has one. And I said to her, why didn't you use your grabber stick? Oh, I could have, I guess. And it was right there in a spot where she can get at it and the whole bit. And I said, in the future, if something falls on the floor, don't you be reaching for it. Just call one of the staff. They'll come and pick it up for you. But she never listens to me, so. But
just
anyways.
Like a kid.
What's that?
Well, just like a kid. There's a lot of, well, Pat's problem is that they think that they can still do everything that they could before, even though they can't.
Well, I'm surprised that she even tried to get it because she doesn't do anything for herself.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised
I
too.
mean, that would have been effort. So then she decides that. But I think she's got a bloody wish to be back in the hospital too, which scares me, because she's got this idea that in the hospital, she's waited on hand and foot. Well, it's a hospital. That no one wants to be in a hospital. But go figure that with my mother. Anne's here. Hi, Anne. Um, and yeah, it is very frustrating to deal with Laura because she does these things, and she often does these kind of things when you're coming around to, holiday time and things like that. You never know whether it's an accident or it's her looking for attention. I mean, it's not like she doesn't get any attention. She gets lots of attention. But, anyways. Oh, Dana's here. Hi, Dana. Oh, minus 24 in Regina. And the wind chill today. Oh, okay, I think it's only about -5 here. I haven't checked.
Well, I think it's +5 here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's been balmy here. It was cold the last few. Actually, it hasn't been really that cold at all. We've had snow. We still have snow. But anyways,
I don't
what?
have my phone in my pocket. Alexa, what's the temperature?
He's asking Alexa.
It's 5 degrees Celsius.
It's 5 degrees Celsius. Well, great. You already said it was 5 degrees Celsius. You needed Alexa to confirm this for you.
Yeah.
It's amazing that she does because she's a stupid you know what. Anyways, so what else? So tomorrow I have a last sewing class for the misery quilt, but I finished the misery quilt. It's called the mystery quilt, but I call it the misery quilt, and it gave me some misery today. But it's done, but I'm not showing it yet because one, it's huge, and for another thing, it hasn't been layered yet or quilted. That's going to take a while for that. But tomorrow's the last class, and it's an all-day class to basically finish it up, and then I think we're having lunch there, pizza or something. What?
They're having gale force winds in the UK.
Oh, yeah? Jeez. That's something. Well, that's not good. Is there snow or rain with that, or what? Sounds miserable. But anyways, yeah, tomorrow's an all-day sewing class, so I've got a new project. We were out on the weekend, went to a quilt shop north of us, and I picked up a pattern and some other fabric. You bought some fabric, didn't you?
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I keep buying fabric and I don't make anything.
Yeah, you've been making purses,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, or tote bags and stuff. Actually, his tote bags are getting more elaborate with each one he makes. He can start a little
It's
store.
the same pattern.
Oh, is it?
I haven't changed the pattern. I'm just doing it for practice.
What's this? Mel says, it's usually warm here this time of the year, 6+C and raining. Seems we might be getting really warm weather this year and Black Christmas. We call it a green Christmas when we don't have snow.
And we might, who knows? We've had a lot of snow so far this year, so
Yeah. Heaven only knows. You don't know whether it's global warming or not, or it's just nature being nature.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid, we used to get a lot of snow in November
Yeah, I
and
know.
stuff too. But
But
now,
everybody
last
gets-
couple of years, we haven't had that.
Well, everybody blames the weather on global warming and the whole bit, and I don't know. I'm not saying there isn't such a thing as global warming, but I sometimes think that that's a convenient excuse for, nature's nature. It does what it wants to do. You can't control it. Precy's here. Hi, Precy. I'm here, but I cleaned out my kitchen drawer, so I'm just quiet. I cleaned out my kitchen drawer, so I'm just quiet.
Why? Why would you be quiet?
I don't get it. Okay, well, whatever. Anyways, okay, so what else? Oh, we have coyotes. Yeah, we
in the
heard
backyard, yeah.
in the backyard. Well,
On the other side of the fence.
yeah, on the other side of the fence. Our backyard's a forest, but it's like a Boy Scout reserve camp, and these things run there all the time. But they were been really active lately. We've been hearing them. Loud, yeah. They sound like a pack of dogs, but well, they are kind of like a pack of dogs. But probably looking for bunnies, and we had a lot of bunnies this year.
I
So
haven't seen any lately.
well, maybe they got them all. Haven't heard the turkeys either.
Mm-mm. Maybe they got them.
What do the turkeys do in the wintertime?
I don't know. They have feathers.
I know, but what do they
I
do?
don't know what they do.
I don't know. They're wild turkeys too. So we have a regular barnyard back there. Um, what's Chris says? We're having 45-degree Celsius days. Strong hot winds. We're in the middle of a drought and there's still fires everywhere. We're okay here. The rural fire departments are amazing. Yeah, we've been watching that on the news. They've been reporting the fires that you've been having in Australia, which is too bad. And they're having them in California as well. It's weird. Laura says, Walter, is that one of your stained glass pieces above the monitor behind you? It's beautiful. Yes,
Yes,
it is.
it is.
Yep. And there's a couple which you can't see that are over here on the other windows. We did a tour a long time ago of the stained glass that we have in the house that Walter created. I should do another one and maybe this time have Walter talk about the process on each one and that kind of thing. Um, Virginia says, we have them down here in Cincinnati too. Yeah, they're everywhere. So, okay, so that's all that's been happening. And the teachers had a 1-day strike this past week on Wednesday, and they're having another one this next Wednesday, I think, coming up. Um, the government is not budging. The teachers aren't budging. Of course, I'm for the teachers on this, but now the government doing their usual thing, saying, "Oh, those greedy teachers, they want more money." They only want cost of living. That's it. That's all they want with it, and they want class sizes to not be increased, and they want special services for kids.
Yeah,
that
well, the
have
government
problems not
turned
to be
around and
decreased.
said they were going to increase the class sizes. They wanted the kids to take 2 mandatory e-learning courses, and then they got rid of extra help in the classroom
Yeah,
too.
and everything like that. So, anyways, they're in for a fight. I have a feeling that the strategy the teachers are using right now with the one day strike action is, I think they're waiting until the other two, the Catholic Teachers Union and the Elementary Teachers unions are in a legal strike position as well, and then I have a feeling they'll all go at once, unless the government decides to negotiate. But the government's just full of lies, coming back and saying, "Oh yeah, they've been to the table." They haven't been to the table. I mean, this is Trump politics right here in our province, thanks to Doug Ford. So, yeah, it's not a good thing, and I'm glad I'm not teaching anymore. Tracy says earthquake people have noticed that before EQ's strike, a wildlife occurs. Tracy, have
Wildfire occurs.
What did I say?
Wildlife.
Okay, earthquake people have noticed that before
An
earthquake strikes, oh, okay, short forms, a wildfire occurs. Oh, okay, I get it. Let's hope not. Chris says, that would be lovely. I watched the glass video you did. Walter's very talented. Oh, yeah, keep telling him that. Already has a swollen head. Yeah. Well, we'll see how swollen his head is today with his star. So, what else? Finished watching season 3 of The Crown on Netflix, and if you've not seen that, you should watch it. It's a really good series. And watched a strange little thing on Prime called The Feed. It was science fiction, but it actually was pretty good too. But it was French, wasn't it? But they
No.
dubbed, or was it?
No, I don't know if was it French.
Oh no, it was British.
Yeah,
it was British. Yeah, it was no. I was thinking of this other quirky little one on Netflix called Nobody's Looking. It's a bit of a comedy.
Brazilian.
It's Brazil. Yeah, it's Brazilian. It's a bit. It's funny. You'd have to see it. It's very weird, but it's good. Okay, let's see. What else is on my list here? So, I guess we can get into... That's about it. The week. We haven't had anything else exciting happen in the last
Not
week.
really, no.
No, so...
Snow almost every day.
Yeah, well, yeah, a little bit every day. Okay, so it's time to do Art Attack. And what we're going to make are these little star ornaments. These are 2 that I'd made a while ago. Hope you can see those okay. Maybe I'll... What?
Take one over.
Okay, well, don't let you... Watch the wires on the ground over there. Don't need to pull down everything. So there's one that I made. And those are old bits of costume jewelry that I found and stuck in the center. And the way that we got this idea, okay, I think they got the point.
Okay.
Is I saw on a YouTube channel called Last Homely House, which if you haven't checked that, I've reviewed it a few weeks ago on my vlog, but it's really quite good. It's this lady that lives somewhere in the UK, and she does all kinds of crafty things. She quilts, she sews, she cooks, she does pottery, she does journal making. And one of her projects was she made these kind of things, but she made them out of fabric, and which in themselves is kind of cool. But I wondered, could I adapt this so it could be done in paper? And I was thinking in terms of my art journaling class with that. In fact, I can, and that's what we're going to do today. I do have a video on how to do these. It's on my YouTube channel. It's under Mixed Media, in my playlist Mixed Media. But we're going to do it live on here. And basically, they're not hard, and you can decorate them any way you want. So I'm going to teach Walter how to make these because he said he wanted to learn. Kathy says she loves those stars, and Anne says very nice, both talented chaps. Nice to see them. Keep them coming. Okay, so introduce Walter to some equipment. First of all, you have a pile of paper here. You need 4 strips of scrapbooking paper, double-sided. Although you can get away with single-sided on this, as you'll see when we start working on this. And you need 4 strips cut 4 inches by 12 inches and in 2 different colors. And so I have a selection of colors you can pick, and there's 2 sides here. So you need 2 of one color, 2 of another color. I've already picked mine out. I'm doing blue and a silvery kind of thing. So as I said, you need 4 of them.
Well, this one's. Will this one work? Is this good?
No, I wouldn't use that. Go the other side. It's double-sided. What part of double-sided don't you understand?
I know. So but like it's this side. Does it matter what's on the back side?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what's on the back side. That's what I just said.
Okay. Well, okay. I'll use those.
You got that figured out. Okay. So now you have to score each one of these, and I'm using a scoreboard for this. If you're not familiar with a scoreboard, it's just got lines in it and little grooves, and you score things. You don't have to have a scoreboard. You can use a ruler and a bone folder or even the edge of your scissors, but a scoreboard does make things easier. And I don't think you've ever used a scoreboard, have you?
No, I haven't. I changed my mind.
Oh, this is going to be a big pain.
Well, you shouldn't have given me a selection.
Gee.
Okay.
So watch carefully. I'll show you how this works.
Okay.
So you put your strip, and what you do is put your strip with the good side down. So the side you don't want to be seen, place that down. Mm-hmm. It actually doesn't really matter at this point, but for sake of those score lines, because there's valleys and there's things, you're going to score at 1 inch, 2 inch, and 3 inch. Now you have to be careful. Just give it... You're my way. Just give it a light press, because if you give it a hard one, you'll tear your paper. And I got 2 score lines where I don't want them. It figures. So I go over it a couple of times. So at 1,
2, and 3.
And 2, and 3. And you have to do that to each of these strips. If you press too hard, you'll tear the paper. And then you're screwed. And my other 2. Actually, I do have another scoreboard, but I'd have to find it. And this is the best one out of my set. And there's no room. And the last one. So we're scoring at what?
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3. Want to see my imitation of Ken on Ken and Sean? Or Sean on... No, Ken on Ken and Sean. Oh, squirrel. Oh, I'm AD. Oh, I shouldn't I shouldn't make fun of him. No. Well, lately, their videos are just off the wall. But whatever, keeps them entertained. Okay, your turn. There you go. So let Walter score his.
They dig ball.
Huh? We're all shivering in anticipation as we watch you score your paper. So, Mel says, Stephen, did you say 4 by 12 inches? Yes, so approximately 10 by 30 centimeters? Maybe. I don't know. We have centimeters here, but...
Actually, some things are in centimeters and some things aren't.
Yeah, so basically they're one inch apart. So what's 1 inch in centimeters?
2.54.
2.54 centimeters apart. As long as you've got them, when you've got your score lines on, you have 4 equal sections. Basically, that's how it goes. So whatever works out the best way on that. And the 4 by 12, you could make it bigger, you could make it smaller. It's up to you, but I found that was easiest because scrapbook paper here in our country usually comes as 12 by 12 sheets. So I just did the math. 4 is a multiple of 12, and don't have to worry about really cutting the paper in any too difficult. You can put it into your paper cutter and just line it up for that. So that's why I went with that. If you did them in fabric, I think her measurements were 4 by 16 inches in fabric, but that's because you have to do some tucking, which we don't have to do with this. So, you done yet?
One more.
And we're shivering in anticipation as we watch Walter score his paper.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now.
Okay. All right, we're done with the scoreboard. Now, I gave you a bone folder right there for yourself, which isn't the best one. So what you do is now you're going to fold it on the score lines. But before you do, so you want to fold down the middle score line so that your good sides are facing out.
Okay.
And then use your bone folder to give it a good crease. And then on the other 2 lines, you're going to fold them in towards the middle. Think about like making a handle on a bag. Mm-hmm. And score that, or use your bone folder on that and crease it too. Okay. Everybody else okay? Ann says, you can tell Walter is a crafty newbie. Welcome to the crafty world. I was slow when I started. Good for you, Walter. Don't make excuses for him.
Okay.
Okay, so now, wait.
Okay.
Oh, he's a bad student, though. He jumps right ahead. Now you're going to take it and you're going to fold it in half along that center score line. Mm-hmm. Okay, and again, crease it. You may have to manipulate your paper a little bit because sometimes... And then you have one of these.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know how to use this? Take the protective cap off. Just flip it over. Okay, you see there's a little thingy. Your protective cap goes at the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to take... This is a double-sided glue tape runner. And you're just going to run a strip of tape right down that piece.
Doesn't seem to be working too good.
Don't know what your problem is.
Okay.
Okay. and then fold that back over and crease it. This holds it together. Okay, so you've got a strip that looks like this. Then you're going to take that strip and you're going to fold it in half. So end to end, and I find if I take my bone folder and tuck it in underneath the fold right here, it just makes it easier. You try to keep it as even as you can. If it goes off a little bit, doesn't matter. And then just go over it with your bone folder to give that a good crease as well. And so you have something that looks like this. Okay, simple. So now we have to do the same thing to the other 3 strips. Can you handle this? So any questions at this point? Pretty straightforward, I think. Now you don't necessarily have to use scrapbook paper for this. You could use other paper too, but scrapbook paper tends to be a little thicker and it just makes it a little nicer to work with, I think, than trying to use something that's maybe a little bit more limp.
Well, how's it work with fabric?
Well, I'm going to explain that. So far, if we were doing this with fabric, it would be the same thing. We'd cut them a little longer. So they would be 4 inches wide, but 16 inches long instead of 12. And you would fold it like this, and it's a good idea if you're going to do this in fabric to starch your fabric well, because that'll make it stiff and it'll fold then sort of like paper. But there is something slightly different that I had to do, and I'll explain that when we come to that step, that makes this, when I adapted this to paper, there's something I had to do different than with fabric. Actually, this is the basic structure. And as you see, you can do whatever kind of decorating on them that you want to do. So those of you that are into mixed media, this gives you an opportunity to go like crazy and really customize them to suit your taste. They don't necessarily have to hang on a Christmas tree either. You can use them as toppers for Christmas gifts or on Christmas bags, or you can use them, I laid a bunch of them, well, those were the fabric ones, but I just laid them underneath the tree. You can even use them as on the front of a Christmas card. Although, mind you, your envelope's going to have to be a little bigger because they're a little bit on the thick side, but so I don't know, it might affect postage. But if you were giving someone a card, that you weren't mailing, you're giving it to them personally, you could get around that problem. And one more. Now this would be a good craft with kids, because they could do this, and there's really very little glue involved, as you've seen. The only glue that we're using is, and you don't have to use a double-sided tape runner. You could use double-sided tape. You could just use wet glue if you wished. It's just that means that's going to take a little longer to dry. Also, sometimes certain wet glues have a tendency to warp your paper, so you'd have to be careful about that. And if you pre-cut the paper for kids, depending on what age they are, then you wouldn't have to worry about them using a paper cutter or that kind of thing. You could even pre-score them. Actually, that's what I did for the group when I was going to do it in my art journaling class, but it got canceled this month because of the weather. But we're going to do it in January. It'll either be a belated Christmas gift at that point in time, or they'll be ahead of the game for next Christmas. These don't have to necessarily be for Christmas either. If you didn't use Christmas style paper, I mean, stars are stars, right? you could use them like a mobile, like, you know, kind of things you see partially hanging down here. That kind of idea. Okay. How are you coming?
Oh,
Almost done?
almost.
Drinky poos.
A little bit trouble with this one. It's kind of uneven.
It doesn't matter. You're going to be cutting that. So as long as it's close, it'll work. It doesn't have to be absolutely exact. So now we've got 4 of these. So now this is the part that it looks more difficult than it really is. And once you've done 1 or 2, you get better at it. And having said that, we'll see if I remember. So we have one end that's folded, and we have one end that I'm going to call open. So a folded end and a open end. So what you want to do, move that out of your way, is take 2 of the same color and have an open end sitting at the top of your work area or away from you, and a folded end also sitting at the top. So you've got them opposite, in other words. So I've got an open here, and I've got a fold here on these 2. And essentially we're going to weave these. So you're going to take one of your other colors, and you are going to, this is where I get mixed up. Okay, you're going to take the folded edge to your right hand side. You're going to place your first strip just inside of it, then close it down a little bit like tongs, and stick those open tails underneath the other one. So essentially what you have is happening here is you've got a fold here, and you've got a fold here. Now you can probably see where I'm going from here. So you take the next one, and you've got the fold to the left side, and you're going to put your first color on the inside of that, and then you're going to take your open ends of the blue one.
Hang on.
Okay, just just a second. Let me finish here, and then I'll show you with yours. This is what I said. It isn't hard once you see it. Okay, I've just put mine to the side. Okay, so you've got open one. Okay, this one is going like that.
Yeah, that's
okay.
What I had, yeah.
All right. Then this one is going through that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now take that one. Your fold is that way. Put those on either side of the red one.
Okay.
And then slip these 2 through that one. As I said, if you're a little lost at this stage, I have a video in the mixed media section of my playlist, and it's up close and personal with that. The way we have the camera for this, we can't really show you. So.
Got that.
Okay, so now what you're doing is you're pulling the folded pieces up snug to the other ones, okay? So you're locking it in. And you just have to manipulate it because you want them snug, but you don't want them to wrinkle up the paper. And it's a little awkward. But essentially it's a basket weave. So you try to get it as snug as you can. And so you got something that looks like this at the moment. Okay, have you got something that looks like this? Yes. Okay, then you turn it over.
Just give me a second.
And you might have to do a little adjusting when you turn it over.
Okay.
Okay, it turned over. Now, you take the top one. I have to keep feeling I'm out of the shot. Oh, here we go. Okay, you take the top tail right here, and you fold it down, straight down, So basically, it's overlapping two of those little squares.
So not as snug as I like it. All right.
Well, you can still do it.
Yeah, all right.
Then, so you got that. Then you're going to go in a counterclockwise direction. So you took the first tail, put that down. You take the next one and bring it across. Then the one on the bottom up. And then for this last one, you're going to bring it across, but you're going to tuck it in underneath this one that's here. Okay? So I use my bone folder just to open that up a little bit. And you just take the tail end of that one and you get it in the hole and just push it through, and that locks everything. So you see, you don't need any glue for this, with the exception of what we did when we folded the paper. Now when you're doing this in fabric, you do it exactly the same way. The difference with the fabric is you don't need glue at all.
Okay, hang on. I did the one. So now what do I do?
The one.
I did that one. Is there another one I have to do?
No,
Oh,
that's the
okay.
only one. That locks it.
Okay.
So it should look like this. So now you got something that looks like this. So you've got a long tail, a short tail. That doesn't matter, their length. But you do want to go around and make sure everything is nice and snug. And what I do, after I've got it as snug as I think I can possibly get it, just for a little added assurance, I take my bone folder and I just sort of crease or go over the folds of each of the little strips. But they will not come undone. So you don't need any extra glue or anything like that. So again, this is what we have. Okay? So at this point, any questions? I know it looks a little confusing, but as I said, once you've done one, they're really easy, and check out that video, so you're okay. They look like ninja stars. Throw them at people. So now what you're going to do to get the points on our star is you're going to take one of these little tails at the top. It'll probably be the shorter one. It doesn't matter which one you start with.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to fold it diagonally so that the bottom part of this lines up with the fold in the weave strip. And use your bone folder to press down on that fold. So I'll hold this up and show you. So you see what I did was I took this tail, folded diagonally, and then I gave it a good crease. Now, when you've done that, open it up and take your scissors and cut along that creased line. So you get a point. Simple as that. The point won't split apart because remember we put that strip. It's simple. Oh, screw off. Jeez, he's gotten me because in one of my videos I kept going, simple as that through the whole thing. It's a drinking game. Every time I say simple as that, have a drink. But they won't separate the points because that had that glue strip down on the inside. Now this is where I had to change it from the fabric version. You do the same thing with the fabric version. You fold the fabric over, but it's going to be a little longer. And then you fold it back and you tuck it in side of this little part that's here. I tried that when I first tried adapting these, and no, the paper was way too thick. But then I figured out I don't really need to worry about that because it's not going to come apart. With the fabric, that's what keeps it from coming apart when you tuck it in. Now, sometimes with the fabric, when you tuck it in, there may be some of the tail will hang out from underneath this part, and you just cut it off a little bit so you can't see it. But you don't need to sew it. You don't need to glue it. It will hold together. So once you've done that, you go to the next short one, and you do the same thing. Fold it diagonally. Give it a crease. Open it up. Cut it off. These scissors need sharpening. So you get something that looks like that now. And you just continue with the short pieces, going around in a clockwise fashion. Where did I put my bone folders? scissors. I give you the good ones. So when you've gone around the 4 short ones, you have something that looks like this. How are you doing? Okay, so you got your folgers out. Let's see. Okay, so we have this. Now, we're going to do the same thing with the long pieces. So just take it, turn it over so that your long piece is closest to the right-hand side. Yeah, like that. And you just do the same thing. You're just going to fold it over diagonally, crease it down, and cut it. Now, if you wanted to, you could freehand this and just cut them off, but I like them all to be even. So by folding it over diagonally, it just gives me that effect. Ooh, I just thought of something though that would be cool to try for a little different design. Maybe if I have time, I'll try that. Not on this one, but on a different one. We're being very quiet because this does take concentration. Actually, they'd make nice, like, an alternative to a bow on a gift. Okay. Clean up my little pieces here. So you got yours? Okay, hold it up.
Okay.
So there they are. That's the basic foundation of the star. So it's pretty easy. Once you've done one, like I said, it moves along pretty fast. Now's the time to decorate. But what we're going to do first, though, now this is an option. We're going to take some ink.
Yeah. Ink what? Okay.
You paying attention?
No.
No, apparently not. Jeez. You're my bluebird. That's what we used to call the retarded kids in classes. Oh, they're your bluebirds. Okay.
You don't use that word anymore.
Yeah. What? Retard or bluebird?
Retard.
Oh, whatever. So, thanks, Laura. So now, if you want to add some dimension to these, and depending on the color of cardstock that you used with it, you can do, one of the Tim Holtz little thingies, and just take, what color ink would you like? I think I would suggest walnut brown, but that's walnut stain for you.
Fine.
But I'm going to think I'll use the fire brick red. So I'm just using some Distress oxide inks. I'm using fire brick red. Walter's using the walnut stain. Get your thingy all juicy. It's a technical term in crafting when you're doing stamping. Juicy. Things have to be juicy. And you just go around the edges. And it gives sort of a distressed look, but also a bit of dimension to it. This is an option. You don't have to do this. But I like to do it. And make sure you do both sides. Because if this is going to hang on a tree, it will spin and people will see both sides of your ornament. If you're gluing it to a package, probably one side would be enough, but you could do, it doesn't take much to do it. And if you want, you can add just a little ink on some of the little folds in the interior of the star. And it's up to you how much you want to put on. But it just gives it sort of a shadow effect, makes it stand out. So there. Don't know how well you can see. Maybe I'll come over and hold it up a little bit better, or a bit closer to the camera so you can see. So there you can see how the ink went on it.
Okay.
Now, now we're at the stage where we can do the center of the star and decorate it whatever way we want. And this is where things are going to get very creative. But before we do that, if you want to put a hanger on this, and Mel says really nice and looks easy, have lots of jelly printed paper, so now I know what to do with them, and maybe use them with some old textbook paper. Hey, that's a good idea. Yeah, these would look awesome done with old textbook papers. You might want to, depending on how thick the paper is, you might want to take 2 sheets of them and bond them together before you cut them into the strips. It might make it a little stiffer. If the paper's too light, I think it'll just all droop. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a hole in this so we can hang it from our tree and put in a piece of ribbon or thread or whatever. Now, there's many ways to punch a hole into something. I'm going to use my pricky tool here, my pointy tool, which is basically an awl. And you could put them in so your star hangs this way, or what I did with the other ones, I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to put the hole here. So I'm going to put it about maybe a little bit more than a 1/4 of an inch down, and I'm just twisting my pokey tool. Make sure your finger's not on the other side. You're going through a lot of layers of paper here. And that punches my hole, which you can't see in the camera, but I have a hole. Okay, you can punch a hole. And while you're punching a hole, I'm going to get out my thread. Now you can use anything for hanging this. It's up to you. I'm going to use some waxed thread. It doesn't have to be waxed thread. It could be anything. What color do you want? I'm just going to stick with black. Oh, wait, I have a blue here. I might use a blue.
I'll do black.
And you just take off a generous amount because, about 20 inches maybe. Depends on how frugal you want to be. And then I have a darning needle, or type of darning needle. You need something with a large eye. Well, unless you're really good at threading things, and I'm not. And just thread your thread.
Or just stick it through.
Just stick it through. Yeah. Did you do it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, why? Did you just stick it through without the needle?
Yeah.
Oh. Your thread must have been stiffer than mine. Well, ain't that nice. Oh, I can't get mine through. Mine's too thick. These little suckers, I hadn't used those before. Maybe I'll just do it the way you did it. Well, blow me. Okay, never mind about darning tool. Got the right thread, it'll just go through, no problem. And then you just tie a knot. Length is up to you. Well, could have saved money. We didn't buy those. Okay. So there, now we have something to hang it. But as I said, if you're going to put on a gift, you wouldn't have to do this part. Now we get into the personalization. And I have some things back behind me here that you might want to choose from. So I have some little bamboo-y star things, and I've got some little snowflakes, and there's little things here. These, I don't know where I got these all from, different places. And you can do whatever you want to do with it. So now it's free for all. I also have some bits of costume jewelry that you can cut apart if there's something that grabs you in those. There's another box here. That's several. And I've also got some ephemera. I have some chipboard pieces that are Christmassy in here.
Too
And
many choices.
I have some stars that came from the dollar store. And there's some words here. I don't know if you can put words on it or not. You might. And I also have an ephemera pack from Tim Holtz that's got Christmassy things. And I have some of his paper dolls, which I'm thinking of using some of them on mine as well. And I've given you Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue. This is the best glue for this kind of project because it'll stick everything and it dries really, really quick. Just be careful. It's like a super glue, so if you get it on your fingers will stick together. Hi, Lana. Is it Lana or Luna? Hey, get on your side. Mm. And so now we just do whatever we want with it. I want one of these things. Now these little items really don't have any color on them, but I have some things that you can use to colorize them. They're Winkostella brushes, and I like using them on things like this. But I think I want to do... Okay, get over on that side. You're crowding me. Jeez. So, let's see. So while we're decorating, we can talk about why we don't like Christmas. I don't like Christmas for a lot of reasons. I used to like Christmas when I was a kid. But as an adult, I really just hope it gets done really quick. Because I don't like Christmas shopping. I especially don't like... Glue? What's that? Yeah. You got your own bottle.
Oh, I do? I don't know. Okay.
Shh. Spend time setting up your station and then just grab my stuff. Yeah, sure. It doesn't play well with others. I think there's too much pressure put on people at Christmas time. You know, like gift buying. I never know what to get anybody. And luckily, we don't much anymore. Like, we don't give gifts in my family to anybody. You don't give gifts in your family, do you?
Not really. My sister doesn't like the obligation.
Oh, the obligation?
You know, buying gifts for everybody. You know, like, you get me a gift, I get you a gift.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
nobody knows what to get
anybody else.
So.
Yeah, true. Well, you're certainly not easy to buy for. And I'm not either. Because we don't need gifts. We buy... If we need something, we get our own things.
How fast is that glue dry?
It'll... In about 10 seconds, it'll grab or so. I usually hold it down, count to 50 in my head. I don't know if I'm going to use these or not. But this might be kind of cute peeking up. Should put one that way. I have to cover them with something. Where's this one? Put that one over here. That might be fun. I'll just do that. Let's see what happens. The Gorilla Glue, especially if you're using metal pieces, is great for that. And you don't need very much of it. Just a drop. Oh, and there goes the clock. Laura says Laura says she loves Winkostella. Yes, I do too. But the most popular Winkostella is the one that's the clear. They can't keep that in stock in the store that I get it from. So I usually stock up on them. But you know something else you can use? There's a liquid called, it's for artists. It's called iridescent medium. It's not too bad price-wise. You can get it at an art store, or you can probably get it at Michael's. It'll cost you more at Michael's, though. And if you happen to have one of these and it's gone empty, don't throw it away. You can unscrew it because basically it's a water brush and fill it up with iridescent medium, and it works the same as Wink of Stella. In some ways, it works better than Wink of Stella because it tends to be a little bit denser. And Luna says that she loves using iridescent medium. Yeah, and I think one of mine have iridescent. Yeah, this one has iridescent medium in it, so I may use that. Now, the thing about Wink of Stella, though, is this a gold one? That's a gold one. I have a gold colored one, and for things like this that don't have any color, you can use them to paint on them. And Wink of Stella dries very quickly. Hopefully there's enough Wink of Stella in this one. Yeah, there is. So I'm just brushing this on. Basically, you could use paint. Whatever you've got. Trying to decide what you want.
I sure got it. I don't know. Is there anything else I need to do?
Well, it looks kind of boring to me. I don't know.
I don't know.
Why don't you dress it up? Why don't you add some bling?
Bling.
Yeah, actually, if there's a box up there that says bling, it's got shiny things in it that you might want that are...
Who says I want shiny things?
Okay, well, don't use shiny things then. Suit yourself. I don't know. I figure you're making purses these days. You probably want bling. The one that says jewels and stuff?
Bling and jewels.
Well, yeah, the whole box. Pull the whole box out. I think I need something underneath this star. Laura says you can also refill Wink of Stella with water to use it again. Yes, because there is some stuff left over when you think it's dry. Just add a little water, shake it around, and you can get more out of it. I need something in behind that. What you got in here? Anything? Don't see anything grabbing me there. Oh, here's a good one for me. Bah humbug. Yeah, that's the way I feel about Christmas. Bah humbug. I'm not liking any of those things. What else do I got? It's in the bling bag. Take some of those. Nothing that's grabbing me either. Okay, there's got to be a piece of jewelry in here that'll work. Some real ugly jewelry in here. Okay, maybe one of these. And we're not talking.
No. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I was talking about why I hate Christmas. Why do you hate Christmas?
I don't know. It's just the you don't know what to buy anybody, and people buy junk, and then what's the point of all that?
Well, one thing I really hate is those people standing outside of the stores looking for donations for everything, especially the Salvation Army, which I'll be talking about tomorrow on my blog. Warning, you may be offended, but I don't care. I need a silver Winkestella. Gotta look here. Thought I had a silver one. Oh, there, right there. Okay. Hope it's not dried up. Laura says, wow, Stephen, you need to live to be 200 to use up all your art supplies. Good for you to have a lot to feed your creativity. Yeah, I purged this stuff a few years ago, and I took out 8 garbage bags of stuff, and then I donated all kinds of stuff to a local elementary school, and I still have a lot of stuff. And I'm seriously contemplating gutting this room and cleaning a lot of this stuff out. There's stuff here that I haven't used in years and probably never will, and making this more into a sewing room with stations on it. Well, it'll be a combination sewing room, craft room, but right now I don't have room for my sewing machines in here in this configuration. No, so I was saying I do not like everybody with their hand out at Christmas time. I mean, yeah, I know people need, help and that, and Christmas time is when people tend to be a little bit more generous, the Christmas spirit, all that stuff. But what bothers me about that is, why can't people be that way all year round then? Why do they just do it at Christmas time, to ease their guilty conscience, or what? Where'd the cat go for that? Gonna bling it up.
It's bling. My simple bling.
Just that simple.
No, I'm not into all this crap.
You're the one who wants to learn how to make one of these.
No, I didn't say. I
You
said
said
we should do it in Art Attack. I didn't say.
Now you tell me. Yeah, right. I need something on the back of this. Or maybe I'll just have this one-sided. Okay. One of these would work. Like that, and then put... Oh yeah, I like the Bah Humbug. So, of course, these guys are kind of on the white. You can't... Oh well, that's alright. No sense getting too uptight about it. It's supposed to be fun. Are we having fun? I'd rather be sewing. Oh, I already did that today.
I don't know. You seem to swear a lot when you're sewing.
I did today. That border piece that I was adding to that quilt. Those are the worst written directions that I've ever seen. Do I want to pop this up? You can pop things up too on these. You use some pop-dats. Where are my pop-dats?
So what are people saying? You can refill Winkestella with water. Yeah.
Where did I put my pokey tool? Oh, there it is. I can never get these little backings off of these things. That's why I used to use the pokey tool. I guess if I had nails, I could do it, but Okay. I think I'm going to add some more bling to this. Here's my bling bling. The bling is stuck to me. Did anybody say anything? No. We're all... So what kind of things, anybody been making some Christmas crafts or gifts this year for Christmas that you're making maybe for home decor or for to give to people or anything like that? You know what I'd been working on, because I showed it on my vlog. I'm so sick of making Christmas things.
Why? Why are you making
What?
Christmas things if you hate Christmas?
I like Christmas fabric. That's why I like to make things out of Christmas fabric. Well, it's not that I totally and absolutely hate Christmas. I just hate the hubbub all around it, and get for one day out of the year, and the expense of it all too. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do with this. Oh, I should put some Wink of Stella on it though. Gotta make it shimmer. Does this Wink of Stella got any Wink of Stella left in it? I think that one's kind of dry. I got the iridescent medium. This will work. Okay, let's get a little of this on. So I'm using iridescent medium on this one, but it's in my Wink of Stella brush thing. I think I need something in the center of that. Cindy says she's making gnomes. Okay, so making gnomes. How are you making those, Cindy? What are you making them out of? And Laura said made some cards and Dutch pour paintings for friends and family this year. And yeah, the paint pouring thing. I did that a year ago. Maybe it's been longer.
It is longer.
I got right into it at one point in time because it was a lot of fun. But after a while, you get so many pieces. What are you going to do with them? I guess you have to give them away to people. And making cards. I used to make my own Christmas cards when I sent out Christmas cards, but I don't send out Christmas cards anymore because in this country, every card you send out, postage is $1. It's $1 a card to send out. And then what do people do with cards anyways when they get them? Well, first of all, if you make cards and you give them to people who don't appreciate, handmade cards, they end up in the garbage. So those are the ones I usually give the dollar store type of cards to. And as time's gone by, I just don't send out Christmas cards anymore. I could say that I'm trying to, cut down on recycle, reuse, don't use up the resources and all that kind of stuff. I could say that, but no, I don't. It's more or less the cost of it. And the fact is, unless it's a card where you're going to write a long message in it, because you might be sending a card to somebody you haven't seen for a long time, or something like that, it's not worth it. People just throw them out. They sit around, and then at the end of Christmas, they go in the garbage. At least mine do. I used to save them all, thinking I could do something crafty with them. Well, I got so many of them, I can't. So, have you finished yours?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, isn't that nice? Ain't that nice? Okay, big reveal. Here's mine. Oops. I'm gonna go a little closer. Why didn't you go the other way?
Okay, fine.
Well, because
Go the
get
other way.
across the wires. All right, here's mine. Right there. I use some of Tim Holtz's paper dolls, and there's Walter's. And on the back, I have a bit of a joke. I've got one that says "Bah Humbug." Actually, you can see the white of these guys. I couldn't think of how to hide that. I'm sure there's a way. But yeah. So, you see, they're kind of fun to make. They don't take a long time to do. And as I said, they're kind of versatile. You can put them on your tree, you can put them on a gift, you can put them on a card, you can stick them up your. Never mind. You can throw them across the room like a ninja star, kill somebody with one. So, that is what we create today. And geez, what a mess. So what's it? Cindy said she loves them both, but you like mine better, don't you, Cindy? Really? And Laura says both of them are awesome, great job. Ye says, oh, nice stars. Both love them. Okay, these people are being diplomatic.
Yeah.
But we all know whose is nicer. Yeah. Well, that's sweet. Yeah, well, it's okay. It's fine. You can do anything you want with them. So, anyways, so that was Art Attack. So we have a few minutes yet left. So, what haven't I talked about? Or what I talked about? Well, we clean up. Yeah, I was saying about Christmas that I hate Christmas. Christmas was great when I was a kid. My parents would all go way out on Christmas when we were kids. You know, my father always would start off in the morning. Well, first of all, we'd be awake at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And the rule in our house was you could not get out of bed until mom and dad got out of bed. And my father, when he finally did get out of bed, he'd go downstairs because the house I lived in had a rec room, and that's where a Christmas tree was. And he'd go and he'd plug in the Christmas tree lights. And then he'd come upstairs and he'd always say the same thing every year. Well, you might as well go to bed because Santa didn't bother to come. Of course, we knew it was a lie. And we'd go ripping down the stairs, just about killing each other because the stairs in the house that I grew up in were basically a death trap. Ask my mother, she fell down them enough times. And then my parents would always set the toys up. It always looked like a toy store display window. There would be 3 piles, because there were 3 of us, and they'd be all laid out with our name on them, and they'd have them all set up like they were decorating a store window. I think they had a lot of fun doing that. And then, of course, we had a Christmas stocking. We didn't have a chimney or a fireplace in that house in those days when I was growing up. So we hung it on the second best thing to hang them on. There was a bar. So we hung them to the bar. Now I kind of wish Santa had put something better in those than just chocolate. But, yeah, it was a big thing. And then we'd go off to my grandparents. And my grandparents lived an hour and a half away from us. And we would go for lunch to my one grandmother's. And we'd have the whole thing, the turkey, everything else in that, and your stuffed. And we'd spend the afternoon there. Then in the evening, we'd go to my other grandmother's. My other grandmother only lived 3-4 blocks away from my other grandmother. And we'd do it all again with the food. And you just got so sick of turkey. But when you're kids, it didn't matter because, my grandparents always gave us really great gifts too. So that's what we were in for.
Well, see, since I was from an immigrant family, it was just our family. We weren't going anywhere.
Well, I thought you were going to say all you got for Christmas is a lump of coal and an orange.
No, we just didn't do anything. And then actually, when I was a little kid, even my sister got married when I was 8. So then they ended up starting doing it on Christmas Eve because opening presents on Christmas Eve because my sister had to go to her in-laws on.
Yeah, you're getting asked a question here by Yeti. She says, Walter, do you now
No, we
5th of
never.
December, Santa Claus?
No, we never did that. We did 25th of December. That's it. My parents would always talk about December 5th.
Well, what's December 5th?
I don't know, Sinterklaas, which I don't really know what it was because my parents never did it. So
Well, Jetty can tell us what it is. What is Cinder? I know
that's Santa Claus.
I know it's Santa Claus, but why is it on December the 5th?
I'm not sure why it's on December 5th.
Well, I know what Santa Claus is kind of like originated in like the
Netherlands.
in the Baltics and well, I don't know if it was exclusive to the Netherlands, but
No, we never did it. My parents would talk about it that they did that when they were kids, but they never did it. It was always December 25th when I was grew up.
Did you see that? Oh, there it is.
I think my parents wanted to be more North Americanized because we lived here. So, I mean, they may have done it when my sisters were little in Holland when they lived in Holland.
Well, what's the whole thing with Black Pete?
His birthday of Sinterklaas and the Black Pete's. Yeah, I would go to a Dutch Canadian club here and they'd have a party, and it would be with Sinterklaas and Zwarte Pete.
Sveta Pete?
Black Pete.
Black Pete.
So
is that politically correct?
It was always a white guy in blackface.
Okay. That's maybe why they don't do that anymore.
I don't know. I think they might still do it.
They do still do it in Holland.
They had a big debate about that at one point. I don't know if they still do it or not.
Blackface Santa. Yeah, okay. Nothing says Christmas like a blackface Santa. A guy in blackface. Yeah, right. Well, that's kind of interesting, but you see that other rubber? I thought I had another rubber band in here. Doesn't matter, those will go. But anyway, so what else are people saying here? His birthday of Santa Claus and Black Pete. Yep. Chris says we're going to the beach after Christmas. Yeah, I know. Well, we spent one Christmas and New Year's in Sydney.
And we went and did the bridge climb on Christmas Day.
That's right. And Santa Claus was at the top of the bridge, and it was windy, so Santa's beard and hair were flying everywhere. That was kind of unique, though. I mean, going to a climate where here we expect it to be cold, maybe snow.
It was really hot that day, too.
Yeah, it was really hot in the whole bit. It just seems, and we saw people going down to the beaches and whatnot for, having Christmas dinner on the beach, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's always freezing cold here.
Yeah. Jetty says, for little kids for 2 or 3 years old, no Black Pete is not correct anymore. Okay. Oh. And Kathy, you threw the rubber band on the counter behind you. Oh, there it is. Thanks. Well, you were watching pretty carefully, weren't you? But, yeah, we had a lot of Christmas traditions when we were little kids. But then when we grew up and moved away from home, and then once my brother and sister both had children, well, it became a little more interesting again because I liked buying for the kids when they were little.
Because like when my sister Jessie got married, we would go over there on Christmas Eve, and my sister would cook a turkey and everything. And she always did it because she had little kids, so it was easier for her than to drag everybody over to my mom's place. And it was easier on my mom, obviously. So, and then, so that's what we used to do after she got married. And it was fun again when the kids were little.
Yeah, when the kids are little. That's the thing.
And now we're grown up, and all the kids are grown up, and just for us, it's not fun anymore.
No, the last couple of years we've had Christmas dinner here. And it's a lot of work when you do it. But my sister, I think, is having it this year, so yay on that one. But, Christmas is a bit of a letdown anymore. It's not as exciting as it once was, but I guess that just has to do with age and everything. So, anyways, Jetty says, Sinterklaas is a man in a costume with beard and high head in red.
Yeah, it's got the pointed hat and a big staff.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's right. I've seen pictures of that.
Yeah. And black Pete is on his side.
Yeah. Well, isn't Cinderclaw based upon Saint Nicholas?
St.
Because
Nicholas.
that's
Yeah.
why the hat,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It's got a connection. I've read the stories before
Yeah.
and everything with that. So anyways, well, that was Art Attack today, and I hope you enjoyed it and give this a try. And as I said, I do have a video that shows you up close the folding technique and how to weave the pieces together, and it's in my playlist called Mixed Media. It'll probably be the newest one in there because I haven't done anything else in a while in there. So if you're interested and you want to try that, go ahead and show us the results. So next week, I don't know what we're going to talk about next week. We're open to ideas and suggestions, but we're pretty much done asking you questions. But I'm sure we'll come up with something. We'll look for something kind of controversial to talk about. So I hope everybody has a good week. Kathy says, fun project tonight, guys. Thank you. You're welcome. Art Attack was a lot of fun. Thank you, Stephen Walter. We'll do more of these if you're interested in us doing more of them. Had a little technical difficulty at the beginning of today's broadcast, but that seemed to work itself out, so we're okay now. And yeah, so everybody have a good week, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
So say goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye, Walter.
I have to figure out how to turn this off up here. Okay.